Well, today is the ultimate Evil Dead panel. We got them all. We got the old, the new, the craggy, the beautiful, the hideous. They're all here today. And a little bit about Ash versus Evil Dead as well. We will be showing some behind-the-scenes footage today that has never been seen by anyone, not even the San Diego Comic-Con. That's how much we love you here in Chicago.
We love you.
Sure, okay, so we might not fit everybody because there's so many of these people who are still alive roaming around. I want to bring out the first Evil Dead people who were first, because they were first. Let's bring out, I'll announce all three of them first so they can all come out. The ladies of the Evil Dead, Betsy Baker, Teresa Philly, Ellen Sandweiss, come on out, ladies! Right here. Sit down, please. Here you go, ladies. Thank you. Lovely to have you. And I believe also from the first Evil Dead, the master of makeup, Mr. Tom Sullivan, is here. Tom, come on out. There he is. That's right. Oh, he's going down the stairs. No, going on this way, Tom. You can be the center of attention there.
Hi, everybody.
Tom Sullivan, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, very good. Now, let me check backstage, because someone's going to get pissed if I don't have the right people. Okay, that's it for us. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Well, we have actors and Tom. Tom Sullivan, how you doing, buddy?
I'm excellent. What you been up to?
Did you come in from Michigan?
Yes, I did. From Little Marshall, Michigan.
Marshall, Michigan. Anybody from Michigan? I'll speak more slowly then. Who's from, anyone from Gladwin? Yeah?
You want to stand up?
Yeah, good for you. I used to go up near Gladwin. Bunch of rednecks up there. Anyway, so Tom, what's new? What's going on in your life these days?
Nothing.
Did you bring your traveling show here?
I'm sorry?
Did you bring your traveling show here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Of Ghoulish Delights?
Yeah, and plus lots of prints. I have three Kandarian daggers here, replicas, that I'm going to get rid of.
You made the daggers?
I do, yeah.
Tom, what does a dagger go for these days?
$350. They're hand.
That's cheap. Twice the price.
I know. I try to be the best deal at these things.
Now, are these hand built?
Yes, I have a terrific mold maker, Steve Ruggiero, who casts them for me. I grind them off and hand paint them using the original as the guide.
So the answer's no then. No, I'm kidding, of course. And what else is in your traveling show? What sort of thing? What are you offering here for all these fine fans?
I have prints of my Evil Dead pages, the Book of the Dead pages. I also was an illustrator for Chaosium Inc. For their Call of Cthulhu games. Lots of fans don't know that, but I bring.
Is that finally how you pronounce it? It is Cthulhu? In your opinion, you think?
No, I remember a letter from Arkham House, and they pronounced it Cthulhu, but apparently they've changed their official thing on that. So I go with Cthulhu, yes.
This is all really interesting. I just
But I illustrate those things. Got lots of nice things.
Now, Ellen, there are some people here who like Cthulhu.
Yes.
Cry of Cthulhu.
I just made Thulu last night for dinner.
I just got over the Cthulhu. So, ladies, thank you for coming today.
You're
You're all
welcome.
looking very fabulous and dignified. Why did you do Evil Dead way back then? What the hell were you even thinking? Where was your head back then?
I don't know.
Did you know
I've
you
been
were
asking
getting into it in
myself.
any way whatsoever?
Did we know what?
What you were getting into?
Hell no.
You read the script though, right?
The script was Ellen gets attacked, or Cheryl gets attacked by the woods. End of statement. Cheryl
So you need
screams,
more information
Cheryl
than that?
spits, Cheryl growls, Cheryl runs.
Cheryl gets
Cheryl,
Ellen
Cheryl,
disease.
Cheryl. It's always about Cheryl, isn't it?
Okay, so Ellen, you felt you were duped a little bit. I understand that. I appreciate that. Betsy, do you also feel that you were completely ripped off by the experience and you hold a grudge against it for the rest of your life?
No, not at all. I actually
had a fabulous time being buried alive, hit by wood beams over the head when we were told it was just styrofoam. It's not going to hurt Betsy. So I mean, really, who goes through a lot of pain and agony when you're like hit by an ice cooler? Nobody. But when the beams are made of metal and wood to support a second-story floor, it might hurt just an inch. And then there was the time that you dragged me from the cabin with my feet, and now we're going to go down 4 steps. Ka-plunk, 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 ka-plunk. No.
You gotta hold your head up so you don't hit your head down the steps.
Well, that was nice of you to tell me a week later.
You should have fucking figured that out.
I couldn't. After the first time, I was suffering a major concussion. Not much unlike I am now.
We still deal with it as the ladies.
Well, Teresa, you can't really escape. You were buried under the floorboards. You were chopped up into little pieces and gyrating on the floor. That probably wasn't your...
Sounds like last night.
Let's not mention the time I tried to get a 2-piece mold off of Betsy and it didn't want to come because it was stuck in her hair. And I had to take a single-inch razor blade, lift up the mold and try to snip the hair off. And
How'd that work?
she's alive.
But barely.
Without eyelashes.
You did lose your eyelashes in the plaster of Paris, and it did heat up.
It did heat up rather quickly.
Yes.
But Bruce, we don't hold any of this against you, honestly.
Or me.
You taught me.
I kind of lied on my resume that I knew what I was doing. So I had a couple issues.
It worked, huh? Good job.
So did Bruce.
Yeah. We all kind of threw some bullshit around to get these jobs. Yeah. Well, we had to tell investors we knew what we were doing.
Sure.
All right, that's why we wore suits. When we went to get their money.
And he's still wearing it.
Oh my God, it's the same suit. Why don't we ask a few questions of the original Evil Dead members before we bring out Evil Dead 2 participants? Anybody got any burning questions for any of these people? Tom Sullivan? Any perspiring makeup effects people out there? Can we bring the house lights up if anyone controls that? Not the spotlights, but thanks anyway. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Anybody out there who's, yes, right here. Tom, how long was the original book that you made?
I had about 2 weeks with the script before we went down to Tennessee. So what I did was I had made some castings of the actors, everybody with you, because you didn't need any prosthetics. And I had a slush mold of Hal Delrich. I pulled it out, glued it onto a piece of corrugated cardboard. There's the cover. And then I had some nice cardboard, what's it called, parchment stuff. I glued that in there with grocery bag bindings, a trick I learned in junior high. And then for the first 3 weeks of the show, I thought it needed to be illustrated. Sam didn't mention that, but I have to draw on everything. So I'd sit around the table at the end of the night when I'd finish everything else, talk with, and get high with Josh Becker, and we'd talk movies. And
You smoked marijuana during Evil Dead?
I had a medical marijuana card.
Not in 1979 you didn't.
I was really sick.
Okay, do you feel better now, Tom?
I'm doing great.
Thank you, sir. Yes, thank you. Yes, right here. Question for you again, Tom. Tom's the popular one today. Claymation, was it enjoyable? How long did it take? The meltdown you were referring to at the very end.
I worked with, Sam put me and a terrific filmmaker and stop-motion animator, Bart Pierce, together. He was the expert on the camera, and I kind of built the stuff. It turned into the best collaboration I've ever done. It was great. And it took 3.5 months for us to get through that whole thing. Of course, my life goes by in 2.5 minutes on the film. But it was quite an adventure. Sam, Rob, and Bruce were in New York editing at that time. And so we just sent off film, and they never told us to stop, so we just kept going. And but it was an adventure.
They're still filming today.
Yes, wish I was.
So yes, it was just like the rest of Evil Dead, a long, brutal ordeal. Yes, anybody else for these fine thespians up here? Yes. Question to me? Okay. Is it true that what?
Is it true you had Carol syrup
Carol syrup,
glued to your chest
my
hair?
chest hair. It wasn't just in my chest hair, sir.
You didn't have any chest hair.
Every hair on his body.
Yeah, it was hair. Ma'am, work with me for a minute. All right, we're going to work together on a translation. Sir, I was so covered in blood, I could not take my clothes off. So, here's what I had to do. I turned the shower on, let it get nice and hot, steamy hot. You're doing a great job, by the way, 'cause I can actually follow that. I don't know shit about sign language. So then I would walk into the steaming shower and with my clothes on. And after about a minute, it would start to loosen up. And I could take my clothes off and put them in a big, see how you do this, a big glob at the bottom of the shower. That's how I would have done a glob. Bottom of the shower. That's how you do that. Thank you for your help. What's your name? Enchanted. Thank you, Katie. It's time to bring out the people. We have some dignitaries from Evil Dead 2 today. Some of the other ladies who were tormented by Sam Raimi directly. First, let's bring out Cassie Piva, otherwise known as Cassie Wesley. Bobby Joe, come on out here, please. Come on down, Cassie. Followed by Sarah Berry. Come on down, baby. That's right. Professor Dobie's daughter. What did you do with my father? You killed my father. She falsely accused me. Well, Annie learned her lesson, didn't she? The hard way. With a dagger in the back. Oh, well. Nice try. Who else? Oh, I know who we've got back there. Danny Hicks, amazing Danny Hicks, who played Jake. Come on out here, Danny Hicks. Welcome. And last but not least, the one, the only, he played Henrietta. Ted Raimi! I think there's no other place for you to sit. Yeah, over. Thank you, Ted. Very nicely done. Danny, I'd like to say I feel that you're looking very captain of the Titanic these days. We don't need to hear you. It's okay.
Is this one working? Okay, this one's on. I was the captain of the Titanic at times, so, you know, work once, why not do it again? It did sing with me. Wow, there's a lot of people here.
Danny, you just made 7 movies in 1 year. What's happening? What are you up to?
I've been doing a lot of small budget independent films and having a lot of fun working with a lot with Tim Quill, of all people.
Tim Quill?
Blacksmith from
Blacksmith
Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah, so just been, you know, doing the looking for work thing. Actually, I'm still an unemployed crane operator, so
That's how you started, as a crane operator.
I was a crane operator, yes.
And Danny, how'd the crane operating job work out for you? Didn't you wreck a crane?
I wrecked a couple of them. I think you're thinking about the one I put in the Huron River.
You put a crane in the Huron River.
I did.
These are people from Michigan, some would know where. Did anyone live along the Huron River? Because you don't want to now, because Danny dumped a crane into it.
Yeah. Actually, we were working at Ann Arbor Sewage Treatment Plant. We were rebuilding it, actually building.
You're building a plant.
Yes.
Is it still in use today?
I believe so, yes. Are you people in Ann Arbor still flushing your toilets? This is covering the front. Yeah, it works. It works.
Very good. Now, ladies, Cassie, Sarah, Cassie, you are still a television diva.
I am an aging slut.
How many years have you been doing?
After
Like right after Evil Dead, didn't you?
I got the Guiding Lights, and I did that for 4.5 years, and then I did One Life to Live for 20, and now I'm on Days of Our Lives, and it's still
Unbelievable.
It's
That's
been great.
fantastic.
And it all started from Evil Dead too.
Now, that's almost 30 years on television.
I know.
But wait, okay, give me the 3 shows again.
Guiding Lights.
Okay?
Who do you play on Guiding Light?
I played Chelsea Reardon on Guiding Lights.
And she's a bitch, right?
She was a good girl.
A good girl.
And then I played Blair Manning.
And who was she? Was she a mean one too?
But she was kind of mean. Who watched One Life to Live? Yeah. Well, she was kind of bad. Eve is the worst. The one that I'm playing on Days, she really is a hoe. I mean, she slept with her daughter's boyfriend. I'm just saying.
Well, the guy's good looking, why the hell not? You know, but now look, so those are the big ones. Are there any one of the big major soaps that you have not been on daytime?
I also did General Hospital's short stint. Probably the most popular one is Young and the Restless, and I have not been on that.
Still time, never say
There
never.
is still time. Bold and Beautiful is still going. Most of them, there are only 4 running right now. So it's been a sad thing, especially if you're a New York actor, because we used to.
Okay, now how much longer you got in you on television?
I don't know. I just tie my bra straps and keep on going.
Now, Sarah, did we chase you out of the industry after Evil Dead 2?
Well, it was a pretty harrowing experience.
What? Shooting that Evil Dead 2?
Well, this guy right over here on
Mr.
the
Ted Raimi.
What did I
Ted
do? That's just shit.
was Henrietta
Oh, I think.
in the plastic costume. So one of the last scenes that we shot was Henrietta suspended from the ceiling.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And he was dripping buckets of sweat out of his ear holes onto my head. And he had latex hands grabbing my hair. So not only was I soaking wet with
Did I actually grab the
Yes,
hair?
you grabbed my hair. And I had
I
my
couldn't see it, I just had to like
filled
pretend.
with plastic latex, which had to be cut out of my hair. So you did.
We did. We drove you out of the film business. That's ridiculous. But you have a very dignified job now. You have
Yes.
you're playing a very respectable profession. You wanna
Yes,
share it?
share with us.
Because there's a lot of people. I think you got a lot of potential clients out here.
Hello.
Well, why don't you tell us what you do now?
I am a Jungian psychoanalyst. I work with people's dreams. I study art. I like images. I'm actually very interested in the horror film world because it's filled with images that stick in people's minds and really deeply impact you. And that's fascinating to me. So one of the things I do, I've only done 2 of these conventions. This is my 2nd. But I took a lot of notes when I came home, just things you said, how and what sort of got really deep into your psyches and made you sort of love this stuff, because all that you do, that's why you're here. And I'm actually writing a paper on that.
She knows what is inside every one of your minds. Every single one of you. In fact, I think I'm going to try it right now, if you don't mind. I don't mean to impede on your profession.
He has been having me analyze his dreams.
Let me see.
And I said, each one of his images are phallic.
Sort of thinking.
I read his mind, see?
I have nothing to add to that.
Now, Ted, you played a heinous creature
Yeah.
in Evil Dead 2. Did you not get your Screen Actors Guild card from that?
I did.
Given your long, arduous journey into being a professional actor.
I did, and in those days it was very hard to get your Screen Actors Guild card. Today, you only have to show up 3 times on set. You can be drunk, stoned, I'm cracked. Any sense of it.
Andy, you're already in the union.
Yeah, you're in without even trying. But in those days it was harder. You had to have, I think, 2 full lines on either a major feature film that was SAG affiliated or a television show. So I thought this would be really easy. I thought, well, okay, I play a monster. That's great. So I have to go, I'm a sector. Then I go,
Yeah, well, your brother was very smart because he didn't want to use the actual actress who was playing, an older character to be subjected to be put in a suit for 5 hours and
No, that was
hung on a string and
Yeah.
spun in circles.
That's right.
Sam went, I know, I'll use my younger brother Ted. I can torment him and he will never complain at all. And if he does, I'll ignore him.
That's right.
Worked out perfect. Tell me about the makeup process for that, Ted. That was, did you say that was the first and worst?
Yeah, that was really hard to do. The first makeup application was a test which took a total of 12 hours, top to bottom. But by the end, by the time we shot, they got it down to about 6.
Oh, so they cut it way down.
Cut it way down, yeah. It was so extensive. It was every part of my face was glued together. It was a shocking thing. On set, I think Bruce, all of us remember, was on that shoot. It was about 90 degrees approximately. But
At least 90 degrees.
at least, and that suit brought it up another probably 10 to 15 degrees.
Go beyond that, Ted. You got to keep compounding it.
Yeah,
So Ted's in a giant pig suit, and he's in a harness, and then they hoist him up,
well, with 20 pounds of beanbags.
20 pounds of beanbags,
Look fat.
make all the fat work.
Yeah.
The locals in North Carolina, they kept apologizing it was so hot. And this is for people from North Carolina. In the summer, they go, I am so sorry, Mr. Campbell. It's usually not over 100 for 6 weeks in a row.
It was the biggest heat wave in 100 years.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. So Ted's cut to Ted in the suit. We're not on the main floor either.
No, we're on the second
It's a
floor.
2-story set. The set of Evil Dead 2 was the main cabin on the first floor. No, on the second floor, and then the basement was physically below it on the first floor.
And I believe it was built in an abandoned.
Oh, it was a school. Yeah, so there's no air conditioning.
No.
There's no AC. And you're on the second story, so we all know what heat does. It rises. So we had to edit out where Ted is spun around. He's grabbing Sarah's hair and he's dripping on her, but he's
Out of
spattering
his
the
ear,
crew.
it had a hole for his ear.
Yeah, that's true. It
And
didn't
so
spray
it's
sweat.
pouring. You can actually see it in one of the stills. I mean, it's pouring out of his ear right onto my head.
Well, the whole suit would fill up with sweat. It was disgusting.
Well, the makeup effects guys, K and B, the very famous guys, Nicotero, Kurtzman, and Howard Berger, they formed their company after Evil Dead, and then they went on to do Walking Dead, Chronicles of Narnia. They did very well. With Ted, they were tormenting Ted. They thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Ted wore monster booties.
I did.
And they'd take his monster booties off, and they would pour his sweat into Dixie cups. They put that up on the shelf, and they collected Ted's sweat in Dixie cups.
Making me
Yeah,
nauseous.
like
It's
these
the
guys.
most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah. Then also would try to, these guys, for it, between takes, they would take the camera to try and film me when I went to the bathroom in that suit. I had to do everything I could to find things to lock the doors so that footage would never get out. I managed.
That basically sums up shooting the Evil Dead movies.
It was rough, but it was great.
We actually don't have anybody here today from Army of Darkness because they just won't talk to us anymore. Because that shoot was just as ridiculous as all the other ones. But we do have a special treat. The last Evil Dead movie was 1991, 24 years ago, as long as I've been married. And you folks never shut up about having more Evil Dead. You wanted another Evil Dead movie. And Sam said this the other day. He was in an interview, and he goes, I've made the Spider-Man movies. I mean, you can't get any bigger as far as a Hollywood movie like Spider-Man 2, made gazillions of dollars, and people loved it. And I made these movies for 10 years. I made 3 of the Spider-Man movies and really got that franchise going. And they go, oh, that's nice, Sam. When are you going to make another Evil Dead movie? Same with me. I go to Burn Notice. It's #1 show on cable for 5 years. Oh, that's great, Bruce. You played that character. When are you going to make another Evil Dead movie? That's all you cared about. You wouldn't shut up, so we made a remake 2 years ago. Yeah. It was great. It was all right. Yeah, it was an honest effort to torment and entertain the audience, the serious approach, so that's the tone of it. But your reaction was the same. Yeah, that's fine. When are you going to make a real Evil Dead movie? And so we had to sit down and I'm like, Sam, this isn't going to stop. And I go to these things all the time. I don't want to be tormented by these people. And I don't want to keep lying to them. Sure, we'll make another one. Yeah, whatever, sure, there you go. Or I'd say, no, we're never making another one. And then we get a bad reaction, so I just would be ambiguous. So we finally decided, well, how can we do this? Should we make Evil Dead as a $100 million movie? Hell no, that's exactly right. So television seems like the way to go, and we partnered up with Stars. We have a whole new slate of shows, and they're getting more and more into production. And they gave us the opportunity to make Evil Dead with no content restrictions whatsoever. None. Because all of these actors and our makeup was Tom Sullivan, these movies were unrated. Neither of the first two movies has a rating of any kind. And so that's really important for us. If we made this on cable, we couldn't do what we needed to do, and you wouldn't get what you were demanding very loudly to get. More carnage and mayhem. So, now we can do it. So basically, Ash vs. Evil Dead is going to be a 100% unrated television show. And you don't have to... I've always wanted to personally pass along a message of suck it to the ratings board. This would be my opportunity to the MPAA to officially say, suck it, MPAA. And with that, I would like to show two bits of footage. One is the trailer for Ash vs. Evil Dead. Some of you have seen it. 15 million of you have seen it. But you haven't seen it with your friends on a big screen, so we'll show that. And then I think immediately followed by some behind-the-scenes footage that nobody has seen. So let's watch that. Let's see what happens.
When I was a kid, he would say, evil is always waiting in the shadows. And only one man would rise to stand against it.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone. 30 years ago, my friends and I spent the night at a cabin. We found the Necronomicon Ex Mortis, the Book of the Dead. Certain passages were recited. It awoke something in the woods. Something evil. I was the only one to escape. But now, the evil has found me. Some spell I can say to undo all this. The other first thing I gotta do is some cardio, because my heart is jackhammering like a quarterback on prom night. Here's the plan. We bust in there, fight through the carnage, let the boomstick do the talking, things get hairy, use your bottle.
I don't think it's a very good weapon, Hefe. He had to stab like 50 times.
I'll be sharpening it for you. Now, come on. You ready?
I'm ready.
You knew they were Jewish, right?
I did not. I wish you could have said something before I made those dumb crosses.
Okay.
Ash vs. Evil Dead is the continuum of the Ash vs. Evil story.
We're picking up with the main character from the films 30-ish years later.
Looking good.
Fans are gonna love seeing Bruce come back and be the big dum-dum that he always was as Ash Williams.
He's selfish, lazy, but he's really good at fighting deadites.
Wow, it really was 3D.
One of the great things of coming back together on Ash vs. Evil Dead is working with Sam and Bruce.
It was 36 years since we shot the first Evil Dead together. In fact, we're still in the business. We're still working together. It's like, wow, the idiots are back in town. Sam is by far the most inventive director I've ever worked with.
He's a great visualist, a great tone setter.
Sam directed the pilot episode, so he was very careful about what the aesthetic of the entire show was going to be.
That was cool.
What we're doing is we're blending some of the approaches that we used in the original Evil Dead, but making them bigger and badder and bolder and scarier.
Ash is the legend, and Evil Dead is this franchise that created a whole genre.
Fans will enjoy the series because there are so many nods to the films.
Ash has always kept the chainsaw and the shotgun and the book, but it's been rusting on a shelf somewhere, so he has to reactivate it.
We're sort of creating a new genre for television, the same way that Sam Raimi did in the past. Old school horror with that element of comedy and subtle camp.
But if you dare talk.
Ash vs. Evil Dead is a jolly splatterfest.
Shoot first, think next.
You're gonna get it with you like it or not.
After this.
October 31st on Stars, 9 p.m. begins 10 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead. 8 half-hour episodes, because it's really the only way to keep the pace going. Because the humor is going to stay. There's still some snarky humor among the carnage and mayhem. But we figured if it was an hour long, then that's not really the show that we think you needed to have. So, because it just keeps, in the Ash's world, it just keeps rolling along. You don't have time to talk about subplots and slow everything down and get to know your uncle and the cousins and the brothers. No one gives a shit about that in the Evil Dead. You see Ash and a chainsaw and a boomstick kicking ass, and that's exactly what you're gonna get. See, Ash now wears a man girdle, so it's not your father's army of darkness. He wears dentures and a girdle, and if Sam could think of other horrible things, I think he would do that. So the problem with Ash now is that he was really never suited for the job. Now he's really not suited for the job. So he has a lot to overcome. So pray for Ash, he'll need it. Anyone have any questions about Ash vs. Evil Dead or any Evil Dead movie made with anybody here in this room? Yeah. Might we see any cameos from any of these people here? Only if you would like to see that. Is that something? Keep them smoking. I know better than to not give you what you want because you'll overshot.
I'll give you your $50 later on that.
Nicely done. Yes, right here. When are we going to make another Evil Dead movie? Just so you know, smart ass. An Evil Dead movie is an hour and a half. We're giving you 5 new hours of Evil Dead, so we just gave you 3 movies, so shut up already. This is all well and good. Now you're, yes, is that Ash with a question? Stand up, Ash.
Sure.
Shop Smart.
Yeah, well, that's my question. Why aren't you working at S-Mart anymore?
Why don't they work at S-Mart anymore?
Yeah.
These are multinational corporations and they're bought and sold all the time. Value Stop clearly bought out S-Mart. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to Ash. That's so hard to figure out. Yes. How many seasons are we planning on doing? How many subscriptions to Stars do you plan on getting? We are prepared to do as many seasons as Stars either lets us do or we can think of to keep it interesting. And look, the truth is, to get into the television game, then you better have 5 years worth of material in your pocket. We think Ash is just dumb enough to fuck the world up just bad enough to put it all back together again, and it's going to take a shitload of time because he's an idiot. So, there you go, yeah. There's no guarantee in television. Yes?
Is it still Sam's car that you're driving around?
Sam's car. Ted, did we use the original car, do you suppose, knowing your brother?
Yes, that was it. That was it. I think there's a few of them. One that, because there's a number of those Delta 88s, and I think it's a 1974 Oldsmobile Delta 88.
73.
73. There's a number of them. 1, because they rust. 2, because they can crash. And 3, because they can crash because Bruce is driving.
Hey. Now look, I will say this. The car is so authentic. It was put on a boat and shipped to New Zealand. The original car. And I know because back in high school, when Sam first, we drove around in that car. You'd open the door, and you know that when you leave a key in the car, the older cars, you'd hear. And the Delta 88 always had the shittiest little. In the mid-70s during high school.
That's right.
Thing gets shipped over. The mechanics have a look at it, and they finally go, "Oh yeah, Bruce, we're in New Zealand now, don't forget. Would you like to have a look at the classic?" "Yeah, let's have a look at it." So I go over there and I open the door. And that's the fucking original car. That's the car. I know that's the car. By the way, with regard to that car, I met William Shatner a few years ago, because when you do these conventions, who's in the green room but all these yahoos who are here at the convention, including William Shatner. Well, if you want to meet Shatner, what do? You say, you mention Star Trek? Hell no. Are you crazy? I'm an idiot, but I'm not stupid. I went T.J. Hooker. I said, "Mr. Shatner, call me Bill. Bill, I really liked it in the T.J. Hooker when you came sliding up to those crime scenes, like really slid up in his car, then they kept a shot on him, the door would open to get out. It's Bill Shatner." "Yeah, I drove that car," is what he's saying, really. So I was impressed by that. I said, "Bill, you know, I thought it was great that you really slid up there to those crime scenes like that." And his eyes lit up, and I knew I had him. He goes, "The producers didn't want me to do that. It's too dangerous." I said, "I'm T.J. Hooker, I'm going to do that. I'm going to slide up." I said, "What?" "And you're going to keep the camera rolling, you're going to show that it's me." He really talks that fast, it's kind of weird. So I asked him how he did it. I said, "Well, how do you do those power slides?" His eyes lit up again, so now I really had him. "You fell at the emergency brake. The stunt guys would do it so it wouldn't lock. Emergency brake, you pull it hard, it locks. So you fell at the emergency brake, but you can still steer while you're using the emergency brake.